Hi everybody, it's Terry Ryder from hotspotting.com.au. There's some figures out earlier this week from realestate.com.au talking about locations where property is selling at the fastest at the moment. We have detail on the information published by realestate.com in this upcoming weekly edition of The Wire, the Week in Real Estate, which we send out to our subscribers every Saturday morning. But what the information from this source shows is that in many suburbs and towns around Australia, property is actually selling faster than it was at the same time last year, just reinforcing the fact that while markets are winding down in the two biggest cities, Sydney and Melbourne, there are many strong and pumping markets in other parts of Australia. And what this data shows from realestate.com.au is that Hobart and Adelaide are the places where property is selling the fastest at the moment. In the terms that they put it in their press release, houses are flying off the shelves in these metro areas. I don't know if it sounds like a little bit of an exaggeration, but certainly we do know that in Hobart, homes are selling very, very quickly in a matter of 7 or 8 or 9 days in some suburbs, in terms of the time from when a property is listed until when it's actually sold. And Adelaide has recently emerged in their data as what they call a surprise newcomer. Well, we certainly aren't surprised at Hotspotting because we've been charting the rise of Adelaide for the last 12 or 18 months. So we've been charting about the prospects for Adelaide as a rising market in a strengthening economy, which offers great value for money, a high level of affordability, good rental yields, all sorts of other things that it ticks a lot of boxes at the moment, and it's certainly one of the cities that we're most excited about in terms of potential for growth. Now, Nerida Knisby, who's the chief economist for the REA Group, which owns realestate.com.au, makes the point that Adelaide is very affordable. Yes, certainly, it's seeing better economic growth than in the past. Yes, we agree. A lot of jobs growth, definitely, and there's investment in areas such as defence and manufacturing. And we would add to that, the big thing for us about Adelaide, apart from these massive naval contracts, $90 billion worth, which are now getting underway, is its place as the high-tech innovation capital of Australia. We're increasingly seeing Adelaide in the news for that reason. Alternative energy projects, the Tesla battery projects that are happening, all of this is happening out of Adelaide. Knisby makes the point that investors and other forms of buyers are increasingly looking away from Sydney and Melbourne in an effort to find more affordable properties and better potential for growth, and we're certainly seeing that as well. Very, very strong rising markets in other parts of Australia now. We know that Hobart's been going very strongly. Regional Tasmania also going gangbusters, but Canberra is a city where there's lots of activity, rising prices, very low vacancies and strongly rising rents. Adelaide we've mentioned. Perth is a recovering market. We're now starting to see a return to price growth and rental growth there as vacancies have come down a lot. But it's in regional Australia that really stands out. Regional Victoria, some massively strong growth markets there, and right across regional New South Wales and some parts of regional Queensland starting to come to life as well. We highlight all of these factors in the new edition just published this week of the Price Predictor Index. It's, I think, our most important report because it charts demand by looking quarter by quarter at sales activity in every town and suburb in Australia, and it alerts people to where the price growth is going to come in the near future. So it's a report that if you're interested in property investment, you must get and read. It's the Price Predictor. In next spring edition, you'll find it on the hotspotting.com.au website right now. Now, the data that was published this week by realestate.com, it identified the 10 fastest selling suburbs or towns in each state. In New South Wales, Colby in Western Sydney took out the top spot. That's the fastest selling location in New South Wales, according to these figures. Normanhurst in the Upper North Shore is the next, and then Queen's Park in the eastern suburbs. In Victoria, the fastest selling locations are regional areas, outside of Melbourne. I emphasised earlier, and I've been broadcasting quite a bit about regional Victoria, how strong markets are in regional Victoria, particularly those that are within an hour or so of Melbourne. Places like Ballarat and Bendigo going very strongly, and also down in the southeast, Pakenham, Officer, Warragul, and some of the towns of the Latrobe Valley also selling very quickly and with rising sales activity. And that's reinforced by this information from realestate.com.au. In Queensland, it's Brisbane suburbs tend to be sort of towards the inner or middle ring parts of Brisbane that are selling the fastest, according to these figures. The Gap, Paddington, Wollongabba, Grange and Ashgrove are the leaders there. In Western Australia's Perth suburbs such as Leederville and Shenton Park, that also shows up in our research. And in Canberra, suburbs like Page, Spence and Higgins are selling quickly. And I've just only yesterday done the latest figures for Canberra in terms of sales volumes. And yes, these areas and others are showing rising sales activity. We're seeing good price growth in the Canberra market, and that's all underpinned by some of the lowest vacancies in Australia and the strongest rising residential rentals. Again, the latest edition of the Price Predict Index highlights many of these factors as well. But if you want to read more about the information that is published this week by realestate.com.au, highlighting the areas that are selling particularly quickly at the moment and making the point that many locations around Australia are selling faster than they were 12 months ago. You can read more about that if you're a subscriber to the Week in Real Estate, which we send out to our subscribers every Saturday morning. That's it for now. Let's do it again soon. Terry Ryder from hotspotting.com.au signing off.